Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, December 13th. It is 6:20 right now. Market's gonna open in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. That's good. More things here. And it looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right. Looks like we are good to go. Link sent out. Everything looks good. All right, so as people join in, I'm gonna go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the daily time frame. There. Going down to the 8-hour. And I'm just gonna mark up liquidity that's close to that current price because it's kind of pointless to go super far down. Not really expecting price to push that far at all. There. Going down to the 1-hour. Going down to the 30-minute. Change that color to red. Going down to the 15. So as you guys can see, price has pretty much been consolidating on these lower time frames for quite some time. So if you look over here from, basically on the 10-minute time frame, you guys can see price hasn't really gone very far since, I guess, Tuesday or Monday, this whole week actually. Price has been moving, but it hasn't really been moving like very directional. So you can see here from Tuesday, price has pretty much been going sideways. Let's go down to the 1 minute. And here goes the closest levels of liquidity. So with our current markups, we currently have a buy liquidity over here at 37,051. And then we have sell liquidity down here at 36,997. So I'm going to put this up here. And I'm going to put this down here. Liquidity is pretty low today. As you guys can see, the volatility is not very high as what we would typically anticipate. ATR right now is actually pretty low. Let me go ahead and just take this off the chart. ATR is currently at 6 ATR right now pre-market. So we'll see what happens here when market opens. So, all right, guys, it looks like about half of you guys are here so far. So good morning, everybody. Today's Wednesday, December 13th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and continue marking up the chart here. Here's our clean chart. Markup 6:30, 8 o'clock. I'll look on the higher time frames to see if there's any structure that we should look out for. So again, today, it looks like we currently have the 4-hour structure, which is where price is currently at. Nothing close by, really. We have structure down here, but it's kind of far off. Let's go down to the 1-hour. Yeah, there's not really too much here. So there's not really much support. Going back down to the 1 minute. So price is currently at the 4-hour resistance level. If this gets too much in the way, we'll obviously make some adjustments, but as of now, leave it as is. So this is the 4-hour resistance level. The 1 hour is just super far off, so it's kind of pointless to even draw that right now. So I'll just leave this right here for now. And that's about it for now. All right, so we got the clean chart marked up. We have liquidity marked up. Going over here to our main chart. Let me check the news for today. We had news over here at 4 o'clock, 5:30. So 4 o'clock and 5:30. I'm gonna mark that up first. Zoom this out real quick. So news over here at 5:30, which is right there. I'm gonna color that pink. And then 4 o'clock, which is right here, right next to it. So 4 o'clock, 5:30, gonna do the same thing over here. $5:30. $4. So we got that marked up right there. Next news event's at 7 o'clock and 7:30. So we got pretty much gas news. This happens almost every Wednesday. So if you guys remember, I mean, this typically is just a normal thing for us. Every Wednesday we have gas news and balance of trade. So nothing too crazy. Got everything marked up right there. 7 o'clock, 7:30. And we're ready to go. So, all right, we've pretty much got everything marked up here. Let's take a look at liquidity real quick. Looks like the lower level of liquidity just got hit right here pre-market. It's 6:26 right now. So we still got 4 minutes till market open. You know, it just ended up getting hit earlier. Wouldn't really recommend taking it because it's a little too close to market open here. So just a heads up, you know, liquidity there just got hit. There's a chance it'll drop down. There's a chance it might not. So I wouldn't really risk it right now, because a lot of things can change when market opens in the next 3 minutes. So I wouldn't really chase that. Right now, it's too close to market open and the ATR is just way too low. So what might happen here is price might go sideways for quite a bit before it ends up spiking, you know, in either direction on market open. So I wouldn't really mess with that. We'll follow it. We'll see where it goes. But for the most part, it looks like price just rejected off the 4-hour resistance right here for break and retest. Price broke below, retested, and it came back down. So a typical pattern right there. But again, market's going to open shortly in about 2 minutes now. So, all right, guys, looks like the majority of you guys are here so far. Good morning, everybody. Today's Wednesday, December 13th. It is 6:27 right now. Market's going to open in about 2 minutes. Let's see who's here so far. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Ryan. Morning, Alan. Morning, football. Yeah, Alan said FOMC today. New high overnight. Maddie said, I think we had news at 5 o'clock. Let me check. I don't see anything here, Maddie. Let me check on Forex Factory, maybe on Forex Factory. So today's Wednesday. Yeah, I don't see any news here at 5 o'clock, Maddie. I'm not sure if you saw that somewhere else, or I'm just missing it. Just don't see anything over here on my end. Morning, Valentine. Morning, Albert. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Kenneth. Morning, everybody. So, all right, guys, market is going to open in about a minute. We got pretty much everything marked up here, so we're ready to go. I'm just going to wait and see how price moves here on open. Let's take a look at retail sentiment real quick. Retail sentiment is currently 81% short still. So, yeah, we're looking for some possible buys here. Looking over here at fundamentals. Fundamentals are currently, they're flat because market's going to open in a few. Maddie said he has trade balance on his. My trade balance is at 7 o'clock. You might have your time zone different on there, Maddie. Because trade balance on my end is 7 o'clock. Your time zone might be changed over here. So you might be 3 hours or a couple hours ahead. You might be, sounds like you're on Arizona time, just 2 hours ahead. All right, guys, market is opening. Yeah, look at this huge spike to the downside. This is why I was saying it's kind of risky to trade right before market open, because a lot of stuff like this will happen. So we got market opening in about 5 seconds. Looks like all the liquidity right here just got knocked out. So if you guys took liquidity there, I mean, I would consider it a lucky trade, but if you guys took it, you know, great work right there for catching it. I wouldn't have taken it, but if you guys did, solid work right there. So, all right, guys. Morning, Barack. Morning, David. Morning, everybody. Nathan said he caught it. Nice work, Nathan. Down, I think spiked down crazy. So market is now open, guys. Huge spike to the downside. I think there's going to be a correction up. So I think this here is just, it's just that opening push, open manipulation right here, because today is FOMC. So we got that marked up right there. Yeah, huge spike right there to the downside. So, all right, we'll see what happens here when market continues to move along. Yeah, I mean, if you caught the big drop, great, but I wouldn't chase it if you're not already in it, because it could easily just shift right back up. So if you guys are not in the position, I don't recommend chasing it. I'm expecting a correction back to the upside. Retail sentiment over here is at 80%. So I'm expecting, the longer term push is going to be to the upside. Might drop right now temporarily, but I think eventually it'll swing right back up. We also have the Fed interest rate decision right here. It's anticipated to be neutral, no change, which I expect too, because it's December, right? They're not going to be raising rates for Christmas. So I'm expecting price to just stay flat, which is a good thing. That's good for the market. So not expecting interest rate to, I'll be really surprised if it goes up, but I highly doubt it. During the holidays, people are already out of office at this point. Like I'm pretty sure majority of governments checked out. So I don't think they're planning on doing much from now until, I don't know, till the end of the year. So I would be careful for any trades here. If you are looking for the retracement or correction back to the upside, I would probably, I wouldn't enter right away. I would wait for, some sort of like clear confirmation that price is actually going up. Like maybe a V3 breakout. Because I think a V1 variation would be kind of tricky. Yeah, Maddie said might get V1 wicks. Yeah, the V1 will be like a nice initial reversal, but then I wouldn't necessarily enter right there because it's so tricky. You're not sure if price is actually going to keep dropping or if it's going to go right back up. So exactly, yeah. Maddie said a V3 breakout right after a V1 would be nice, and that's exactly what I'm looking for too. So. Yeah, Barack said I had no grounds for entry, but looks sweet. FOMO material setup. Yeah. I agree. Ken was asking if I can make the candles wider. Yeah, sure. Zoom in a little bit right there. There we go. All right, so I mean, there's opportunities here for sells, but I probably would chill out for a bit, right? So I was hoping price would actually drop a little further because if we got a breakout V3, it would push back up to opening price, right? That's kind of what I was hoping for, but it didn't drop as far as I would have hoped for it to drop, but it's all good. Price is now kind of far down here. This is actually a good area. I like how price is down here because if price does push back up, target price point will be 4-hour resistance. There's going to be a bunch of different levels down here, like opening price and stuff like that. But for the most part, the actual target, so there'd be a couple targets here. It'd be like opening price. I forgot to mark it up here. So we've got opening price right here. And then if price breaks past that, there's going to be 4-hour resistance, right? So it could break past this here. And next level is going to be up here. So 2 different levels for price to reach if it does continue to climb back up for correction, which I do expect. You just got to be kind of smart about it, guys. You don't want to take anything too risky. If you don't feel comfortable about it, don't take it. Or if you're in a position and you start to feel uncomfortable, like you start to feel like nervous and you feel like it's risky, then pull out. Today's like one of those days where it's going to be kind of tricky because of the FOMC today. I don't think the news today is going to have a high impact. I think the news at 7 o'clock, 7:30 is like whatever. It's like low to medium impact. I think the real thing is going to happen right here at 11. So we might get some movement and some volatility, but it's probably going to be a little slow. It's not going to be any crazy movements. It's going to be more of a ranging market, probably some consolidation. And that's just from our previous experience, right? We've traded FOMC countless times. Like how many times have we traded this, right? I don't know, like almost 100 times already. It's the same pattern. Price is pretty much going to kind of consolidate in range because there's not too much really behind the movement, because a lot of people are just sitting back and waiting for the Fed news to come out. Because today's news is huge. You could expect some pretty big price movements here at 11, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are kind of on the fence on whether interest rates are going to continue going up. But yes, earlier this week, Powell, and last week, Powell mentioned that they plan on cutting interest rates by next year. So mid next year, they plan on cutting interest rates, which I think is crazy. We're still in a recession. We're still like the inflation is still high. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of the stuff that's being announced for next year is because of the presidential election, right? Biden wants to be reelected. So of course, he's going to say what we want to hear. He's not going to tell us what we need to hear. He's going to tell us what we want to hear. So you vote for him again. And unfortunately, a lot of people fall into that trap. So we'll see. That's something to keep in mind. A lot of people don't realize that like the election is next year, and a lot of stuff that gets reported on CNBC and all the news sources is not really legit. It's not like there's no real push behind it. It's kind of just getting everyone excited for the new year and for the new election. But we'll take that to our advantage, and if they sucker people into that type of stuff, we'll be ready to trade against them. So, all right, right here, price is currently ranging between the opening price and the 1 minute resistance level. There's not really too much going on here. The ATR is currently still below 15, so there's no momentum pullback scalps. There's no opportunities that are available. There's no breakouts. There's no momentum counter scalps. There's no nothing really at the moment. Technically, I guess this could be the breakout, the original breakout, if someone really wanted to take it. I think the original breakout was like a 25 move. So technically, you could have taken this as the original break. I wouldn't take it myself. Again, I'm kind of wary about taking sells. The only reason I identified that was because this here was a strong red candle. So a red candle with little to no wick on the bottom. We have a sell signal, bearish trend. This here is a setup for the original breakout. However, this came on the last minute. So if you guys remember how to apply the original breakout, typically the original breakout needs to be taken within the first 5 minutes of market open. Market open over here at 6:30. This candle here wasn't super strong. This candle here was the only strong candle that came up. So technically the breakout, the original breakout is currently running right now. It's typically for a 25 TP stop loss. And it's currently climbing down. I wouldn't necessarily recommend taking it, but if you were to take it, that would be the entry right there. If anybody is looking for anything at this very moment, I wouldn't recommend it. It looks like this might be a double bottom right here. So it's just a little too tricky, in my opinion. So we'll see. I'll leave it out there in case you guys want to follow it, but I'm not necessarily looking to take it. I don't really recommend people take it. This right here would be a high-low scalp though. So if this here closes as a high-low scalp, maybe this could be okay for a quick 100 pip move, but you can see how price is rejecting directly off the level. It's a clear double bottom right there off that 1 minute support. So here we go over here on the clean chart, double bottom off the 1 minute support. Super tricky. V1 variation right there for a buy. Let's see if I can maybe, yeah, the V1 setup right there. I would be more inclined to take the V1 variation here. Let me see if I can maybe get into this, but it might be a little bit of a tricky move here. Let's take a look at everything else over here. So let me do a full scan of everything here. Retail sentiment is currently 79% short. Looking over here at the fundamentals, fundamentals are kind of neutral. Looking over here at the technicals. So the higher time frames are obviously still bullish. Like we do expect a correction to the upside. So we do expect this to climb up eventually. It might not happen right now, but I think eventually it will climb up. There is a V1 that's currently running right now. It's not necessarily a V1 variation. I would consider it just a V1 pattern because the bias right now is not very strong for a buy. I just haven't, we just have an understanding that price is likely to swing back up. So there's a V1 pattern right here. I'll give you that, but I won't necessarily say it's a V1 variation. So this right here, it looks like if it does push up, it's probably going to push up to opening price, of course. That's going to be target price point for it to reach if it does continue up higher. But yeah, like Maddie said, it might get a V3 after. I think the V3 would be more ideal to look for versus just the V1 here. You probably want to see like a continuation from them, but it does look good because so you can see right, you don't really see the structure here, but you see the structure here on the clean chart. It's projecting off this 1 minute resistance level. So this can really go in either direction. This can be a solid foundation for price to bounce off of, or if price does break and close below it, this could also be a fake out type area. So, what you can see here is you might be able to see price come down slightly, fake out, and then bounce obviously right back up from where it's currently at. Because you might just get a fake out down here, price might come down slightly to lure people into these sells, and then price might just swing right back up. So there's just a lot of trickiness here where price is currently at. It's kind of hard to tell where it's at right now. The spread right now on FTMO is currently 160, so it's about normal. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping we get a fake out right here, and then price swings back up. And then what I'll do here is I'll probably put a pending buy stop right here and just catch it as it swings up. His price is pretty far down, so it's either going to come down further or it's going to come right back up and just shoot all the way up to opening price up here. So for me personally, just like how I'm analyzing the market, I think if price does come back up from where it's currently at, it's probably going to have a nice push to the upside from where it's currently at right here. Let's probably push up. The main thing I would look for here is a breakout V3. That's probably going to be the main thing that I'd be focused on and looking for here because of where price is currently at. There's enough gap here. Let me see how far is it from opening price. Yeah, it's about 120 pips, 12 points. So it's got some space there. So it looks like it's setting up for that fake out that we were just discussing. Fake out on this lower area right here. Yeah. So we'll see how this here plays through as it swings up. So let me see if I can put my pending order there up top. Yeah, it's just a tricky area down here. So as you guys can see, not really too much happening or going on at this moment. Yeah, and this is exactly what I was expecting or what we talked about earlier. With FOMC today, it's probably just going to range and consolidate a bit. I mean, eventually it might drop, but looking at where it's currently at right now, let's see. So establishing a low right there. I think the fake out might happen around this area. See, it's pretty far down. So I'll just take this off here. I don't want you guys to think I'm in the position. I just have the, obviously, the pending order there just waiting. I'm probably going to cancel it. Yeah, I'm going to cancel. It's too far down now. So we had this, I was going to wait for it to swing back up. I said price can go either direction. It'll either come down or it'll either go up. Right here, obviously, price did not come back up. So now I just cancel that order that's waiting up there. That's why I prefer to put pending orders in a lot of cases because I just rather wait for this to confirm rather than entering it right away. So this is exactly what I was talking about earlier with Maddie and you guys here. I said, probably don't enter on the V1. Look for the confirmation after it because you can see that V1 there just disappeared, right? And V1 was pending over here. Price came down, disappeared. You probably want to look for the V3 to follow the V1 versus just entering directly off the V1 because the V1 isn't even a V1 right now. I think the original breakout already hit full TP. And now we're just waiting for this here to swing back up. Yeah, exactly. Rashida said this is good for the V3. We need this drop. Yeah, because now we have all the space down here. See how we have all the space right here? If you get a V3 that comes up at any moment here, it'll push up to opening price, and that'll give it opportunity to get the full, or not even 500, it's like 300 pips. So if it pushes up to this area here, it'll have a decent push to reach 300 right there. So yeah, I can see that. Definitely could see that there. See what else we got here. This market just kind of sucks. I was hoping we'd have some more direction. The volatility is still low, it's 14. I was hoping we'd get like at least something going here, but there's not really too much to work with. I mean, the sells would be fine if there was like opportunity for entry. Like if we got a buy signal here and we had a sell entry for maybe like a V3 to the downside or even a momentum counter scalp, there's just nothing here right now. And I think it's just going to be moving like this throughout the entire session. We got a lot of this sideways movement going on here. So it's pretty much not really expecting too much here. There's no liquidity down here. So liquidity is pretty much done with. It got hit pre-market. I mean, there's more levels down here, but low levels. All right. So let's see if it fakes out here. So this is a fake out I was kind of talking about earlier. So price will probably break down below structure, fake out, swing right back up. And now it starts to make its way back up. We have a pending buy signal right there. So it's looking good right there for the buy signal. See if it climbed its way up. Yeah, Maddie said if it closes, probably a high-low scalp, high-low momentum scalp, and then possibly a V3 to follow it. So you got two opportunities here. But again, you'd have to wait for that buy signal there to close. Kind of tricky because you can see here how it disappears. Yeah, there's a possible buy signal right there. It's not looking like it's going to close. Maybe it will. Yeah, so let's see. And then this here would be the V3 with a follow-up. So there goes and again, right here, it's just a little tricky because these candles just don't have very, very much volatility past it. Usually when it closes, it'll have like a big push right after. But yeah, unfortunately. Now it's gotta wait for this to close green. If it's not like a for sure green, I'm not gonna even look at it. See, I'm looking on my MC4 to see how it closes. It's pushing through pretty nice. So let's see if it continues to climb up higher. So I don't feel comfortable trading right now, guys. Well, I just like how the market's moving. I didn't take it. I'm following with you guys, but I just didn't feel comfortable with me taking it because now it kind of feels a little overextended. I'll follow for you guys. It's only up like 40, like 500 pips, but so there's two entries here that came up. There was the momentum. The high-low momentum scalp right there. And then currently there's a breakout V3 that's currently running. I'll continue watching it. I'm not in the position though, so I'm just watching it right here and then looking for any more console. I want to wait for it to get above the opening price. That's kind of where I'm looking for it to go. Because right now it's just not really looking so great. I mean, with the movement. Not to say that it won't go up, but the volatility is just too low right now. So this will probably go up, but I don't want to be caught in the sideways movement. I think until volatility starts to pick back up, I'm gonna hold off on taking any entries. I don't even know if I want to trade today because whenever FOMC comes out, this is typically how the market's going to move. Like what might happen here is instead of this climbing up higher, we might just get a sideways movement for like the entire session. So you can see over here, it's already established a range. Let's see. So let me draw a structure. It's just days like this where if you don't feel comfortable trading, it's better to just not trade, right? Because I already had a feeling this is how the market was going to move. I pretty much mentioned this earlier, that this is the normal movement for FOMC day. Price just goes back and forth. That's why for me personally, I prefer to just wait for the confirmation a little later. So like, for example, this trade right here is running, but I don't feel like taking it right away. I would personally just wait for it to come back up, like wait for the fake out here, because a lot of these fake outs are going to happen throughout the day. And then now I'd probably put like a buy stop and just wait for it to swing back up from this point. Because the thing is, I do think I think it's going to hit. It's just, I don't want to be caught in this back and forth movement, kind of be stressed out about holding on to a position that's in drawdown versus just entering, right away. So yeah, I'll probably put a buy stop right there and just catch it as it swings back up. I haven't put it up yet. I prefer to just wait at this very moment. The reason why I'm kind of not convinced about the movement here as well is because the overall trend is not very one directional, right? So we have the shorter time frames here that's actually bearish. So you got the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, all bearish here. We have a 30 minute, which is pretty much turning bearish. 1 hour and 4 hours bullish, but you can't just depend on the 1 hour and 4 hour. You have to make sure everything here is aligned, right? Looking over here at the fundamentals, another thing that I'm kind of not so certain about is because the fundamentals here are neutral. So there's not really much going on. It's pretty much indicating that price is going to be going sideways. Lastly, looking over here at retail sentiment, this is starting to drop a little bit. So the buys here aren't like guaranteed. That's why I'm not so convinced to take all buys here. If this was the case where retail sentiment was high, fundamentals were high, and the technicals here were pretty much bullish, then in that case, yeah, for sure, I'd be looking for buys, every single time. But right now, there's just no confirmation of even a bullish like any bullish bias. Price can really go in either direction right now. Long term, yeah, price will be bullish, but short term, it looks like price can still be bearish. So yeah, I'm just waiting for anything else here to happen, but there's just nothing else here to really confirm anything. So I haven't taken any positions yet today. I'm kind of just waiting. I was kind of tempted to take the high-low scalp momentum right here, the high-low momentum scalp, because this over here was actually a good entry, the one that Maddie mentioned. So this right here would have been good, but I haven't taken any trades yet. So let's just take this off here. I don't want you guys to think that I'm in the position. But yeah, just listen to my analysis, guys. I'm going to give you guys a heads up if I'm in the position or not. But pretty much I've been waiting for a better confirmation here to come up. Like, for example, over here, the V1 never came up. So the pattern that we looked for earlier that me and Maddie talked about was V1 and look for a confirmation, right? So you're basically looking for a confluence, V1 into a V3, because you have a reversal pattern going into momentum continuation. For this right here, there was no V1. So there was no reversal pattern that actually confirmed that price was actually going to continue up. Looking at this right here, we had the high-low scalp. So that was one that people could have taken. I would have been more inclined to take this versus the V3 because the high-low momentum scalp is a ranging strategy. So this is a strategy that's taken when price is going back and forth. So again, I'm just waiting for something here to play out. I don't know if the V3 actually hit stop loss. Did it hit stop loss? Let's see. So the entry would have happened right here. It looks like it's technically still running if anybody took it and got in at actual like ideal entry. I didn't put my buy stop right there, so I'm actually not going to take it. I'll follow it and I'll see if it comes up, but it looks like price got really close to stop loss down here, and then it swung right back up. But you can see this is like where price is kind of tricky because it's going back and forth. It's ranging because of the FOMC news today. So there's not really too much here to work with. But I mean, for the most part, this is kind of what we're looking at the moment. So I wouldn't be surprised if this shoots right back up and goes straight to TP, but I'm not going to take it. You guys can see here that price is pretty much consolidating within this area. It's just a big range. It's a big range between this area here from where market opened up and down from here. But let's see. So there really hasn't been very much movement. Market opened right here at 630. So measure from opening price down here. This is how much market has moved since market open. 600 pips. Not very much, right? This is clear indication of a consolidating ranging market for today. And now it just keeps going back and forth. So let me scroll up real quick. Yeah, man, I just did lots of fake outs today. Let me see. Kevin took the high level momentum scalp. Nice work, Kevin. Albert took it as well. Kenny said, hey, Sean, FTMO is doing the Christmas calendar again this year. Oh, are they? I didn't even know that. So is that on the website? Let me check. I think TFF is doing it too, but I don't really go on their website very much or at all. Alan said he's done, made some money. Yeah, no, definitely. If you don't need to force any trades today, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, of course. And realistically, there's no need to force anything, especially on, on a day like this. Craig's asking question, Sean, would it not concern you to trade against the pivot direction? Would you prefer if it were all lined up? Not necessarily, Craig. I mean, it just depends on like, the whole aspect of your analysis. So for the entry here for the breakout V3, there's not really for any of the breakouts, really, there's no need to, there's no requirement that you trade in the direction of the trend. Because the thing with the 1 minute is that the trend shifts back and forth pretty often, right? So if you're trading on the 1 minute, it doesn't really concern me at all because the breakout's it's a breakout. So it doesn't matter which direction the trend's going, the breakout's going to go in whichever direction the breakout wants to go, right? So like sometimes you'll get like a lot of the breakout V3s that we've identified, like the actual entries, like for example, this is technically a breakout V3. It's running, and it's running for a while now. So, I mean, at this point, if I was in this breakout, I probably would have pulled out for profit already because a breakout typically hits right away, right? You get the 2 green candles there and it usually goes right away. If it pulls back like this, my main goal is probably to get out at break even or a small profit to cover like the commissions or whatever. But yeah, for the breakout, the pivots don't really matter because you're not even looking at trend at all. Like the breakout, you're just looking at, it's basically like strict price action. So the price action here is looking at momentum and you're looking for the continuation off after the momentum. So you're looking for the green candle and the green buy signal, the green candle after it. Same with the sell signal here, right? If I was to take off the pivots here, it wouldn't make a difference, right? You just look at how everything here moves. Let me open the momentum. So if you turn everything off here, as you can see, red candle, we don't even know what the trend would be here. Red candle, red sell signal, red candle, momentum. Green buy signal, green candle, momentum. These here don't have that. Obviously, this is pre-market. There's not really much movement here. But if you will look at it during a high volatility type market, like opening price or opening session right here, typically it doesn't really matter what direction the trend's in. Because the breakouts, it's different from a pivot scalp. If you're trading a pivot scalp, you're looking for trend. But for the breakout, that's why the breakout's completely different from like every other strategy because you don't really use anything else. The only thing that I would probably look at would be the red flags because that's where price can bounce off of. But other than that, the trend's not really necessary for the breakout specifically. So this right here, guys, I'm not in this position again, like I mentioned, but you guys can see that it is going back and forth. This is the reason why I skipped the trade. I haven't taken any trades today because price is just going back and forth between this area here. And we already anticipated that because we've traded FOMC over and over again. Usually whenever there's a big news event for the day, this is typically how the market moves throughout the day. And when this happens, your best entry is probably going to be the high level momentum scalp. It looks like there's another one right here that just came up, but generally that's going to be like your, your ideal entry for that specific strategy. So, all right, other than that, let's see. Oh, Kenny was asking if they were, so I don't know. I don't think they're doing it, Kenny, for the FTMO. I mean, they would have sent out an email, so everybody would have known, but I don't think they are. I don't even remember the last time they did it. Did they do it last year? I know they did it like during COVID, but I don't remember them doing it last year. Let's see, Maddie City copy high level momentum because of the candle close so strong, but held up on the V3. Yeah. There's another high level momentum scalp right here. So there's one that's running right after it again. But again, it's just a tricky market right here because price is just going back and forth. I think the better market the better chart to look at here would be the clean chart because you can see things a lot better here. So let me just mark up structure here. And you guys can see that there's not really too much going on. This is the real range right here. So this is the actual range. And this right here is just a fake out, right? If I was to take off the structure right here, you can see this is just fake out area. So I think the best chart to really look at would probably be the clean chart for today because there's just not really much going on here. I mean, the high-low momentum scalp is currently running right now. There's another one right here. We got a higher high right here, and this candle broke and closed past pivots 1 and 2. So with that said, there is a high-low momentum scalp that's currently running right here. I'm not going to take this trade again. I don't like trading ranging markets, so I think I'll follow these entries here, but I'm not necessarily going to take it. I think there's also news here at 7 o'clock. That's kind of what pushed price up. So we had news right there at 7 o'clock. So that's kind of where the fake out happened. The entry came up right here for the high level momentum scalp. Price faked out, came back down, and here we are back in profit. If anybody decided to take that trade there, let me take this off right here. And yeah, I mean, this is the worst type of entries that I would never want to get into because you can see here that I do think price will come down and hit TP, but it's probably going to go sideways for a bit before it does. So a lot of back and forth movement, which eventually it'll probably push down, hit TP. But a lot of these entries are supposed to hit right away. So you get the high level momentum scalp and it usually hits like within the first 2 or 3 minutes. This year's been running for about 3 minutes now. It should hit within the next couple candles, but if it doesn't, it's probably just going to keep going back and forth. So, let's see. C6 said. Yeah, C6 said he got in, but he got out at 5 because of the uncertainty. We'll look for something more solid. Yeah, there's like days like this, it's best to just sit back and wait. I mean, there's a lot of entries that are coming up and some of them are hitting, some of them aren't, but it's, usually in the beginning of the session, I'll give you guys a heads up, like, okay, prices probably, or market's probably going to range for today. So be careful. And that's kind of, I gave like that warning a bunch of times today. So if you guys didn't take any trades today and you guys follow that advice, then it's completely fine. And there you go, full TP on the high level momentum scalp. So whenever the market goes sideways like this is the strategy that you should probably be looking at, the high level momentum scalp, because typically this is the one that usually works because it's a ranging strategy, right? You have a lower low establishing the bottom. You got a buy signal, price goes in that direction. You got a higher high, it establishes the top. You got a sell signal, it comes back down. And then what happens from this point is that price just keeps going back and forth and establishes new higher highs and lower lows while it continues to go back and forth. So you're pretty much catching the ping pong move from the bottom to the top. And that's why the strategy works good during sideways markets. So again, with this one here, Craig, this strategy is another one that doesn't really require the trend because you're just looking for price to ping pong up and down. So same with the breakout, right? The breakout, you're looking for price to ping pong down, and then you look for the momentum counter scalp for a ping pong back up. And then same with this, ping pong down, ping pong up, ping pong down, etc. So now at this point, you'll look for like a higher or lower low at this point, and you look for it to ping pong right back up within the range. So that's the difference between the breakout. The breakout and the high level momentum scalp are typically they're in the same spectrum because they both kind of just go back and forth. For the trend following strategies like the pivot scalp, the V1 variation, the V2 variation, V3 variation, etc. Those type of strategies, they require that you have a direction. So like, for example, if you want to trade the momentum pullback scalp, that's a directional strategy, right? Because you're looking for price to come down, retrace, and continue. You're not necessarily looking for a price to bounce back and forth. So for momentum pullback scalp, you're looking for a direction. If you're trading the high-low momentum or the high-low scalps, you're looking for the same thing. You're looking for price and break past structure and then continue lower. Difference with the breakout is you can get a breakout in one direction, breakout V1, and then you can get a breakout V3 in the other direction. So back and forth movement. So this is what I was kind of alluding to for next year, that we're going to be a lot more prepared with entries because we have specific strategies for specific market conditions. So again, right here, we have a new lower low. What do you think is going to happen at this point? Same setup as this one right here. Lower low, lower low. Look for the buy signal to break and close past pivots 1 and 2. And where do you think price is going to go? Back to this top area right here, right? So yeah, there's specific strategies for specific markets. Sometimes the market's good in both directions. Like sometimes you'll get a big range and then you also get a directional movement. So you can use both breakouts, high-low momentum scalps, and directional moves. But it just depends on the market. Let's see. Yeah, Kevin said he wanted to take the high-low momentum, but the ATR was too low. Yeah, the ATR is pretty low right now, guys. So like, again, this is another reason why I would be careful. Like a range is fine, but if the ATR stays below, like I think 13 is kind of okay, but anything below 13 is pretty low. Like if it's like 9 to 12, that's like super low for the ATR and volatility. Yeah, exactly. Craig said this is my entry model. I should have taken this on my live. Hit two, no problem. Trend model is my model. Yeah, same with me, Craig. I don't really like trading a ranging market. So for me personally, I know the high-low momentum scalp does work well because we've used it over the years. But for me personally, I would prefer to trade in the trending market. So that's why I haven't really been taking anything. There's another high-low momentum scalp that's setting up right here. Again, I think it's risky because you don't know when price is going to break out of the range. So that's why I personally don't like trading this type of market. So yeah, also like what Rashida mentioned, also a possible continuation too. So you might get a high-low momentum scalp, and then if you get a buy signal with a green candle after it, you'll get a V3 continuation, the breakout. Yeah, Craig said he's leaving this. Yeah, this is normal for the December market though. So like the sideways market here, you tend to get this a lot during the holidays because a lot of people aren't trading, so the volatility is a little lower than usual. Yeah, Rashida said 5-minute and 10-minute has sell signals, so she's not convinced. Yeah, I agree with you too, Rashida. That's why I'm kind of like, I'm not too convinced to take buys yet because everything here is kind of mixed. So I think in this situation where the market's mixed, it's easier to take trades in both directions if you're comfortable with doing that. I'm not really comfortable trading both directions like that. I like to trade just one direction. So for me, I'm kind of just waiting for some sort of confluence here to point me in that direction. Looking over here at the fundamentals, are currently down 15 points. Looking over here at retail sentiment, it's currently 78% short. So there's not really much here to really work with. I think the worst part is that the volatility is so low. If the volatility was higher, I'd be okay with it. Like I wouldn't mind if there was a bigger range, but this range right here is actually really small. If you were to zoom out and we should measure it. So we'll measure this top point here from this lower point here. The range is super small. It's only 450 pips. So like technically you can take trades in between if you have a big enough stop loss and survive a lot of the moves. But I mean, they're not really, they're kind of tricky from where it's at. And that V1 from earlier, Matt, it would have hit eventually. You can see how the fake outs here happen. Like that V1, I think came up right here, right? So it faked out super hard. And then it came all the way back up. So you can see here that the entries are working. It's just market's in a range, so you get caught in a lot of these fake outs here. All right, so this here would not be considered a high-low momentum scalp because there's just not too much. This candle breaking close past pivots 1 and 2 is already above it. Yeah, Craig said he's got his 2%. He's happy and content with that. Yeah, and I would just do the same, Craig. There's no need to force anything, right? You could just hold off and wait for a better day to come along because the better day is going to come along. It's just a matter of time until it does. So there's an actual V1 variation that's setting up right here, guys. So there's a double body rejection right there, pending sell signal. If anybody's looking to take it, again, I'm not really comfortable taking the trades in this type of market because there's not really much of a direction, but there is a V1 variation that is setting up right here. If anybody is looking to take it, again, you don't need to force any trades today, guys. If you're not comfortable trading today, like myself, then I would just sit out. If I see something really good, I'll take it. But for the most part, I think today's one of those days where I'm just going to sit, and you can see right here that this candle shot right back up at the very last second. So there's no V1 variation there because this here shot up like literally at the last second. And this is the type of market that I don't like because when you have a low volatility market, this is typically what happens. You'll get a lot of fake outs at the very last second. If the market's moving very fast, you're not going to get these fake outs because if price is dropping, it's like really dropping. It's not like it's not moving like this every second, right? Up and down, up and down, up and down. Because that's kind of what's happening here with these candles. Like for example, this candle here could be red right now, and then there's 20 seconds left on the candle, right? So if this comes back down to the 1 minute or the end of the cycle, this can easily shift back up to be green or be flat, just like this one right here. And I don't like that because that kind of messes with your trade psychology because you could be set for a sell, and then all of a sudden this thing swings right back up. So, and you can see right there, it's a blocking movement with each candle. Yeah, and you didn't miss anything. Market is still going sideways, going back to the clean chart over here. I mean, it's pretty clear here with my structure drawn up. You guys can see that it's not really going anywhere. See, again, if you just looked at this level right here, you'd see that this is the actual range. And if I take this level off right here, you can see that these are just fake outs, right? So let me go over here and draw some circles right there and right there. So if you guys see right here, price is really just ranging within this area. Every time it comes down, fake out, comes back down, fake out. And that's pretty much where these high-low momentum scalps come up, right? Price comes down, establishes a low, fakes out, comes back into the range. Comes back up right here, establishes a high, comes back down, establishes a low, and it pushes right back up. So you just got to be smart, during these types of market conditions because there's no telling what's going to happen next. Like you can get an entry and then price will just kind of go back and forth for like a good 30 minutes or so. And there wouldn't be anything for you to take there. See this right here. I was trying to see if there's any high-low momentum scalps, but not really. I mean, there was one high-low scalp that came up right here, but it wasn't at a lower low. Price broke right there. And then it ended up coming down pretty nice right there. But again, sideways movement. So I think we'll probably just stick to this chart right here because this is going to show you if price actually breaks outside of the range. Like price hasn't even come back to opening price yet, as you guys can see here. There's not really much that's happening. Price is just going back and forth. I think once price finally breaks out of this range and goes above here, then okay, maybe I'll look for an entry over here in the middle, right? That's kind of the ideal location for me to trade. Otherwise, I mean, if price comes back lower, I might be okay with taking a trade down here. But I don't want to take anything that's within this middle area right here. Because the last thing I want to do is for price to go sideways and then it just ends up breaking out. And then I either get lucky or I get hit with some bad luck and I ended up getting, kind of wiped out there. So. Yeah, Maddie said, I think it's best to sit out a day like this unless it looks super spot on. Yeah, I agree too. C67, definitely leaving this one alone, looking for more confidence to work with. Yeah, same. Andrew said, yeah, came in late already, doesn't look good. Have a safe trip, Sean. Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Andrew. Maddie said, I kind of missed the crazy movements from last year. I missed the crazy movements from like last week, right? Last week was a really good week for us. Even Monday was a good day for us. Or not Monday, but yesterday was a good day. I think any direction would be good. Yeah, any direction would be good here, but there isn't the direction, right? Price just keeps going. It's just now it's consolidating. It's not even ranging anymore. So you guys can see here from these most recent candles, there's not even any direction at all. It's pretty much just going back and forth. Yeah, Jonathan said ATR hasn't cracked 20 all week. Yeah, it hasn't at all. But I said all these candles look like dojis. Same. Let me check the other chat. Let's see. Sam said it can still go to higher time frame liquidity. I mean, yeah, it could if there's some actual movement here, Sam. I mean, it wouldn't matter what time frame you're on. If you want to go on higher time frame liquidity, like that's a big push for it to get to that point, right? Price is way down here. And this is like, I mean, the liquidity is it's actually not that far. It looks far, but it's not really that far. It's just the candles here are so small that it looks like these are huge moves, but they're really not. So from this point right here, I mean, if you're going to go for liquidity on the higher time frames, like to the upside, that's going to be a new higher high. So yeah, I can see that happening. It's going to happen eventually, maybe not today, but it'll probably happen, or it might happen later actually at 11 when the FOMC news comes out. So yeah, I mean, liquidity could get hit, but with this type of movement right here, you're not going to get liquidity anytime soon. So there's liquidity up there. That's the high point. But with this movement, you know, the candle, like from market open 6:30 until now, so like within an hour, price has probably moved about 500 pips, which is not going to be enough to reach, you know, 1,000 pips up here. It's like double the distance. So, I mean, hopefully we get some movement. I don't think we're going to get much movement until like 11 though, when the Fed news comes out. Let's see. Kenny said, I need price to either break away from opening price to the upside or break close. Yeah. So Kenny's looking for the same thing. He's looking for price to either break past opening price to the upside, or he's looking for it to break below to the sell side, which I mean, we just don't have right now until it goes in either direction. But yeah, Ken said it can be kind of tricky. I agree. Tron's asking, Sean, do you have any predictions for FOMC today? I think the Fed interest rate is going to stay neutral because it's December. I don't expect them to increase interest rates during Christmas. It's just not, it's like historically, they don't try to increase during the holidays. So they didn't increase last month in November because obviously it was Thanksgiving. And I don't expect them to increase this month because it's Christmas. If anything, they're going to increase next month in January. So my prediction on FOMC is that it's going to be straight neutral. It's going to stay at 55. That's pretty much what the analysts are anticipating too. So last month it was 5.5. It didn't increase. Again, right here, it's 5.5. It's going to continue to increase though. So it's not going to decrease until next year. That's what Powell said yesterday, or he said earlier this week. He said they plan on cutting interest rates mid-year next year. So mid-year 2024, which I don't think is good for the economy, but it is what it is, right? If they're going to do that, they're going to do that. I think it's good for the rich and the people who know how to invest because it's going to be cheap money. But I don't think it's good for the middle class or the lower class, which is not going to be good for the economy as a whole. It's just going to create a bigger economic gap between the rich and the poor, because poor people are not going to they're not going to be able to take advantage of the lower interest rates, right? If people are poor or they're working class and they don't have a good credit score or anything like that, it doesn't matter how low the rates go. They're still going to have a shitty rate. Like the rate's still going to be super high, regardless of the fact. So it's just like, basic economics. It's a lot of people don't see that. People think just because rates are going down, it's going to benefit everybody. but it's not going to benefit everybody. Not everyone can even use those lower interest rates. Like rates might go down to like what, like 4%, or like maybe 4.5, and then poor people and working class are still going to pay like 7% interest because they don't have credit. So there's just a big, there's a bigger picture behind it. But yeah, for my prediction for the news today, I'm expecting it to be neutral, which is actually going to be good for the economy. So if it stays neutral, I think price might push up. So like around 11 o'clock, probably expect that to push up. Maddie said all these candles look like dojis, Asia session movement. This market is completely sideways. Yeah. So if you guys can see over here, this is why I'm leaving it on the main the clean chart, because the main chart here you can't really see. You can see the sideways movement, but it's not as obvious. Like it looks like price might be able to still be bearish, but if you look on the clean chart here, you can see that there's really nothing going on at this moment. It's just going sideways. So if you measure this from here, so for the past maybe 20 minutes or so, prices maybe moved like 100 pips, maybe. If you're just averaging out the candle movement there, not even 100 pips, like 80 pips, which is 8 points. So, I mean, market's doing exactly what we anticipated. So when the market opened over here, I kind of told you guys that market's going to be ranging or consolidating, and that's exactly what's happening here. And this is where the, where the repetition happens. So like we've been trading these markets, and we've been trading these types of events for years now. So we've been trading live for I think over 5 years, and this is where the value comes from this group, because I can tell you this before it even happens. Like earlier this morning, I said FOMC is coming out, so you can expect this type of movement. And lo and behold, this is exactly what happens here. So it all comes with experience. This isn't something that you can just learn by reading a book or taking a course. This is something that you learn from actual experience, like actually trading these markets year after year. Because it typically happens, the FOMC comes out every month, and you'll typically be able to predict this type of movement whenever it comes out. So like moving forward, so like next month in January, right? Just remember that during FOMC, when we traded, this is what happened. We had a sideways market like the entire session. And that's typically what happens. So like maybe in the future, if you don't want to trade FOMC, you can just avoid trading on the specific day like I did. Because I've gotten burned during FOMC before. If you guys have traded with me during FOMC, you guys know that I've gotten caught in some fake outs. I think I even have them over here, maybe in my notes. Yeah, so over here, I got caught. So see my 2 losses in September? This is during FOMC week on the Wednesday right here. So this Wednesday, so September 13th, I lost a trade on that day, right? So I already know that I suck trading on FOMC. So I usually don't trade on days like that, because I already know from previous experience. That's why these spreadsheets here are very important. If you guys are part of the Discord, I do recommend that you guys check these out. Go to the official. So if you're on the Discord here, make sure that you have all channels. So go to the group there, go to show all channels, go down to trading journal, go down to 2023 official live trades, click on this spreadsheet right here, and you guys will see my spreadsheet of every trade that I've taken. So if you guys want to see whenever I lose trades, it's typically around this week. So it's clockwork. So I know not to trade on these days. So if you look over here on April 13th, I lost a trade, right? Because it was FOMC, sideways market. You look over here, the same week, June 12th, lost a trade. June 11th, lost a trade, right? So I already know that this is a bad week for us to trade, so I usually just avoid it. Like this month, I was like, okay, I'm not going to take it. I don't think I even fell for this trap last month either. I already knew, because we lost in September. So I no longer really take bad trades around this time. So the data is really important. This is why I recommend that you guys do document your trades. You guys can easily use my spreadsheet. So just go to the Discord, click on this spreadsheet here, go to file, and then make a copy. You can just make a copy of my spreadsheet, put your trades in there. And then if you look back, just look at the days where you lose trades. So in the future, you're like, okay, maybe on that day I should be a little more careful because it's FOMC or it's NFP or it's CPI or it's PPI. And those days usually screw up a lot of people, and they don't realize that they just keep making the same mistake over and over again. Let's see. Tron said, thank you, Sean, for sharing your fundamental analysis. Matches with mine. I will now go full port on my evaluation. Yeah, no, definitely, Tron. And that's a good thing too. So if you guys have any questions about my analysis, just let me know how I feel or what I think about a certain market. Because if my analysis lines up with yours, it's typically going to it's going to be a good thing because you'll know that you have confidence behind your move, or if you decide to hold off. All right, Maddie. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Yeah, Maddie's gonna head out to LA. Yeah, I actually gotta catch a flight too, guys. So I'll be on here for like maybe the next 10, 20 minutes. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. I gotta catch my flight to Hawaii in about 30 minutes. Or no, I gotta leave in 30 minutes. So I gotta be there in a few. So all right, Maddie, I'll see you back here tomorrow. But yeah, guys, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put your questions in the chat. There's just not really much here to look at or to take. As you guys can see, price has been going sideways for the past. So this actual consolidation has been going sideways for about 20 minutes. The range has been happening for the entire session. So for the past hour, price has been in a range. For the past 20 minutes, price has pretty much just been going sideways right here, which is really not worth it. It's not really worth the risk because it doesn't matter how big or how small your TP stop loss is, you're going to be stuck in this position as it continues to go sideways here, of course. Let's see, Tron said also the higher time frame trend is bullish, and we're pretty close to US30 all-time high. I'm sure we will take it out this year. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Tron, 100%. So looking over here on the higher time frames, like Tron just mentioned, you can see over here on the 1 hour and the 4 hour price is super bullish, right? And it's currently at the all-time high. This all-time high got hit earlier today, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get knocked out by the end of the year. So we might get some retracement if I maximize this right here. We might get a little bit of retracement here, and then it's probably going to shoot right back up and just break out of that. I think by the end of the year, it'll probably break it for sure. But it's just a matter of time until that happens. Tron said, Sean, hopefully you try some macadamia nut pancakes in Hawaii. Safe trip. Yeah, no, definitely. I'll definitely be trying a lot of stuff out there for sure. It's just a small little vacation. I'll be trading with you guys though, so don't worry. I'll be here with you guys. I just got to get up at 3 a.m. now. So I usually trade with you guys here at 6 a.m. in California time. Hawaii is 3 hours ahead, so I'll be up at 3 a.m. to trade with you guys. So I'll be up super early, trade with you guys, hopefully make some profit while out there, and then be able to enjoy the rest of my vacation there. So I'll be trading with you guys tomorrow and Friday. Hopefully the hotel internet is fast enough for me to stream. I guess we'll see by tomorrow. When I check in today, I'll try to see if it works well. Yeah, I can't say damn. I guess I'm never moving to Hawaii. It's actually pretty nice, Kenny, because the last time I went to Hawaii, I was trading with you guys at like 3:30 a.m. I had to sleep early, of course, but I woke up at 3:30 a.m. We were done trading by like 4, got to the gym by 5, and then I just ended up doing like whatever I wanted throughout the rest of the day. So it's actually pretty cool if you get used to it, if your body is okay with waking up at 3 a.m. every day. I kind of dreaded it initially, but I actually liked it after because it worked out pretty well. Let's see, 7:30. Yeah, Trump said can't do it at 3 a.m. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it is this time around, but I'm pretty sure it should be fine. Yeah, Vimal said terrible market to trade, better to spend time on the beach. Jonathan said, what island are you going to? I'll be on Oahu. So I'll be on Oahu staying on Waikiki Beach. Pretty close, like in downtown. I want to go to Maui, but we just don't feel comfortable with going there yet after what happened. So hopefully at some point in the future. So, all right, guys, going back to our clean chart here, you guys can see there's still not very much movement. So if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat, guys. Otherwise, I think we'll wrap this up for the day. The market did exactly what we anticipated. Not much of a movement here. It's pretty much just back and forth for FOMC. If you guys don't have to trade, which I'm pretty sure majority of you guys don't have to, I probably recommend to stay out of the market because we do have some news coming up right here at 7:30. It's low to medium impact gas news. I'm not expecting too much of a movement there. That's probably why you have this big green candle here, just from that gas news. But I don't think it's going to push price very much for there to be any actual movement. So it's probably just going to stay here and then continue to range within this area here, where it continues to just go back and forth. But again, yeah, if you guys don't have to trade today, I'm expecting a big move to happen here at 11 o'clock. It's going to be neutral in my opinion, but I'm expecting there to still be some manipulation. So when the news happens, price is probably going to spike up, or this is what might happen. Price might go sideways. Then by 11, like close to 11, price will come down and then it'll shoot right back up. I think this opening price will get hit eventually, probably by the interest rate news. But zooming out right here, you can see there's not really much movement. So all right, guys. So I think that's about it for today. I don't really see anything here. Unfortunately, there weren't really many entries for us to take. There were no official entries. I didn't take anything. I kind of just sat from the sideline today because I already knew price was going to go sideways. Let me check the news for tomorrow. So we have retail sales. We have a lot of high impact news pre-market. We have retail sales, export prices, continuing jobless claims. It's a lot of stuff here happening pre-market. Not too much happening during the market aside from business inventories. But other than that, that's about it. So we'll have some movement pre-market tomorrow. Hopefully a continuation of that move, and some news here on Friday. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. I don't really expect anything to happen from here until like 8 o'clock. Price is probably going to continue ranging within this area. So if you guys are trading, be very careful about taking the trades that you decide to take. If you have any ranging type strategies, that's probably what I would stick to. I think, sticking to like something like the high level momentum scalp would probably be key here, because I think price is going to continue to range here up until maybe closer to 11 o'clock. As you get closer to 11 o'clock, you'll probably get a directional move. And then look for the bullish push that may happen around FOMC news later at 11 o'clock today. So it's 7 o'clock right now, 8, 9, 10, 11. In about 3.5 hours, FOMC news is going to come out with the federal interest rate decision. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. Unfortunately, no official entries for today, but it's better to have that than have any losses. So, all right, guys, other than that, I will catch you guys back here tomorrow for the next live